JJ Redick walked straight into a storm he did not see coming. Andre Iguodala locked eyes with him and dropped a line that froze the whole room.
And I think there's 3 guys that I'm comfortable saying are 3 of the 5 best players ever.
These are the top 3.
And it's Kareem, LeBron, and MJ. Kobe.
Kobe had no flaws. I don't like talking about guys' flaws, but if we're talking about the greatest ever, we should be allowed to pick apart people's games. That's all I'm saying. You can't have any flaws.
Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan had no flaws. The second those words hit, JJ shifted in his seat, like he knew the energy just flipped. You could feel that pressure jumping off the screen because this wasn't some casual debate. This was a direct hit on that whole LeBron is the GOAT narrative. And Jay was clearly trying to brace himself.
Because everybody, when they talk about the most skilled players, the same guys always get brought up. It's Kyrie, it's Kobe, maybe Kevin Durant's in there. They don't talk about LeBron.
He tried scrambling for a response, changing angles, twisting definitions, doing everything he could to soften the blow. But everybody watching already knew what time it was. Iguodala had planted a bold line right down the middle of NBA history.
They don't talk about Shaq because to them, the best player is based on aesthetics, not necessarily performance and effectiveness.
And that one statement cracked open one of the most heated basketball arguments ever all over again. This is where things got spicy, because what happened next showed just how split the basketball world still is over legacy, greatness, and what flawless really means. When Iguodala made that declaration, he didn't flinch for a second. He said it loud and clear. Kobe had no flaws.
Kobe had no flaws.
Then he doubled down harder, saying MJ should be in a world of his own. Right there, the whole vibe shifted from respectful talk to a full-on philosophical showdown about what true greatness even looks like. And remember, this isn't some random fan talking. Iguodala is a finals MVP, one of the smartest defenders of his era, and a guy who actually battled these legends face to face. He wasn't speaking from hype. He was speaking from real on-court experience. He knows what greatness feels like when it's guarding you all night. And to him, Kobe and MJ were different animals. But underneath all that praise, there was a quiet jab pointed at someone else. Someone JJ was definitely not letting slide. That's when the real tension kicked in. JJ Redick didn't dare argue directly against MJ or Kobe. He knew that was a losing fight, so he switched the rules instead. He took the word flaw and flipped the entire meaning, shifting the debate away from pure skill and into resume talk. He started bringing up championships, longevity, stats, eras, and basically saying, being flawless isn't just about moves, footwork, or killer instinct, but the context around a whole career. And even without naming him, everyone knew JJ was sliding LeBron right into that conversation. JJ knew exactly what Iguodala meant, but instead of meeting the point head on, he spun the whole argument into something completely different. Because when it comes to pure skill, everyone in that room knew LeBron has weak spots.
Quarter, saving some in the tank.
James gets inside, but misses it, comes up short. Here comes James ahead of the pack, goes up. Oh, he goes it ahead. The Jokic stolen by James. Keeps it alive. James drives baseline, layup, missed it. Green still open. James looks for his spot. Air ball.
And JJ wasn't trying to touch that directly, but here's the wild part. Iguodala wasn't even close to finished. He had more truth to drop, and the next part hit even harder. The LeBron James problem.
You look for the layup instead on the fly by LeBron. And the good look. It's in and out.
LeBron James misses the layup there. He's not done that a lot. He's 10 of 15 in the game.
Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wanted to say out loud. JJ was doing verbal footwork around LeBron's flaws because everyone knows they're there. LeBron is great. That's not the debate, but that shouldn't be. But he's not flawless. His free throws, up and down. His handle, not elite. His clutch moments, often questioned. His shot creation, built more on power than surgical precision. Iguodala never claimed LeBron wasn't legendary, but he made one message clear. Greatness is not the same thing as perfection. And if you look at the numbers, it lines up. Kobe was money from the stripe, MJ too. Meanwhile, LeBron still sits around that 73% range. and there have been real high-stakes moments where he missed when it counted. That's not hate, that's reality. But this story gets even messier, and we're about to slide into the real heart of it. Kobe, MJ, and the myth of perfection. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan weren't just great scorers. They were complete players. Mid-range masters, elite defenders, unshakable in tight moments. Mentally tougher than anyone they played against. Iguodala wasn't making random compliments. He was setting a standard, a level where you couldn't find a weak link. Not in their effort, not in their focus, not in their performance. And when you talk to NBA defenders, the ones who actually tried to stop these dudes, they'll tell you straight. You couldn't game plan for MJ, and you couldn't crack Kobe. They didn't offer anything you could exploit. So that leaves one big question hanging in the air. If perfection is the bar, can LeBron even sit in the same conversation? Why JJ had to push back? Here's where it gets real. JJ Redick isn't just a former player with a podcast. He's become a major media voice tied to modern narratives about analytics, efficiency, and the updated definition of legacy. So when Iguodala declared Kobe and MJ flawless, JJ wasn't responding as just a basketball mind. He was responding as someone protecting the new school and everything it represents. To JJ, greatness isn't just skill, it's what you turn that skill into. And in that lane, LeBron's resume is almost untouched. So JJ did what media figures often do when someone they admire is under pressure. He shifted the rules of the debate. JJ switched the whole vibe by reframing the argument, pulling in extra factors, and trying to slide the spotlight somewhere else. But this moment wasn't really about basketball talk. It was about who gets to control the legacy conversation, and Iguodala wanted no part of that media dance. He kept it real and stayed locked on the core issue, skill versus greatness. The real heavyweight debate. Here's where things get deep. Being the best and being the most skilled are not the same thing. You've got Kyrie Irving, maybe the slickest ball handler the game has ever seen. Kevin Durant, one of the most complete offensive forces we've ever watched. Then you have Kobe and MJ, the rare mix of skill, mindset, IQ, and cold-blooded instinct that only a few players in history ever reach. LeBron, he's a once-in-a-lifetime physical force and a basketball genius without question. But when you talk pure skill set, he's not built like the guys who lived in the lab perfecting every detail of their craft and saying, that isn't disrespect. It's just straight context. Iguodala wasn't tearing LeBron down. He was reminding people what flawless really means. It's not trophies, it's not stat sheets, it's what you leave on the court every night, and Kobe and MJ left everything with no weaknesses to exploit. Why this moment hit so hard. This wasn't some regular podcast disagreement. This was a rare moment where someone spoke without filters in a media world full of spin. Iguodala stayed calm, sharp, and clear on one message. Perfection is extremely rare, and in his eyes, only a tiny group ever reached that level. Kobe and Jordan. Period. The fact that this simple truth shook so many people only shows how tightly fans protect their narratives and how uncomfortable it gets when someone challenges the stories they want to believe. But maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe the highest compliment you can give a player is saying you couldn't find a single flaw even when you went looking. That's a legacy no stat line on earth can define. If you rocked with this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.